Hey, what's up? This is On the Scene with Carissa Des.
I'm pretty Leon.
And we're here with our special guest.
Jeelani Sharif, a.k.a. Mr3thehardway.
Yeah, and Mr3thehardway. He's a financial strategist and entrepreneur who has garnered significant attention for his work in financial literacy, particularly within the African American community. His platform, Financial Freedom Bootcamp, powered by Crazy Panda University, offers courses and mentorship aimed at helping individuals improve their credit scores, secure funding for businesses, and achieve financial independence.
Beautiful. So
That was awesome.
how would you?
Awesome.
I guess for some people, because a lot of people don't know a lot about finances, me included. My parents do, but I'm just I'm very brand new to it. So could you explain to us what your definition of like financial literacy is, and like why it's important? Significant to-
Absolutely. Financial literacy is important because, a lot of people like that, that's saying like money don't cure everything or whatever, but everything costs, everything costs money is the flip side of that, as you would think that saying of, money is the root of all evil. It's not. Money is the root. Money is the cause. You know what I mean? So it's the action behind it and what you do with the finances that makes it deviant, So when you are a good person, man, you can take that money, you can change a lot of people's lives.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So financial literacy is important because I believe that our people, whether, particularly in the Black community, in the diaspora, right? We had a lot of great leaders, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Huey Newton. Most of our leaders, unfortunately, died broke. Right. And that's why they said the revolution would not be televised, because they depended on the people to actually support the movement. Like in the Black Panther Party, a lot of people don't know either as well. I'm actually was the captain for the Black Panther Party here as well. So I was inside the movement and doing a lot of work in the movement as well. And I understood the history of our people. Right. And historically, where our people have been taught money don't grow from trees. Don't look, don't touch, don't ask when you're in the store with your mom. And then you develop a scarcity mindset. Now, when you have a scarcity mindset, you grow into an adult who don't believe that $50,000 a month is even possible. Until you're around somebody making $50,000 a day. You see what I'm saying? So now when money start to get things, then it start to change your outlook on things. It start to change your life, which means you can change the lives around you. So how dare you
change
the community, right? It's going to take finances to do that.
You need money.
You do.
To do that.
You
And
do.
It's like a lot of people, I feel like, especially, folks on the left, like they kind of, sometimes don't think about the fact, like, because it's like they're anti-government, anti-money, anti-capitalism, but it's like capital, unfortunately and fortunately, is you can change a lot of people's lives. Like money buys food, it buys shelter, it buys status too, which it buys influence, and
It does.
you can't deny that. And it's like I don't think it's necessarily an unfortunate truth. Some people might say so, but it just is the truth. Like money is really powerful, and it's important for growth, especially in a capitalist.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Within a capitalist country,
Absolutely.
you need that initial money. At
You
least.
need a capital. Like we on the podcast right now.
Yeah.
These lights cost.
A
Let's
microphone.
be real. Like, you got the equipment costs. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like that's where my focus started to be at. And once I realized that our people suffer from a lack of information, then they can start to train their mind to go from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset. And when you start thinking money is abundantly, it starts to come to you abundantly. Right. And then once it comes to you abundantly, other things start to come. Happiness, the other things start to follow that, because you're following your trajectory and your path that's in front of you. And unfortunately, like I said, like a lot of people don't understand how to get to it. And I had to learn through trials and tribulations how to actually use OPM, and that's other people's money.
Okay. OPM.
Okay. Yeah, because honestly, like as I said before, I'm not super. I wouldn't say I'm super financially literate, but my mom was, and the way she kind of navigated the world was much different than I feel like a lot of people in this generation are. And I feel like a lot of people do have a scarcity mindset, and they think it's just not there. But even within the last year, like I got a new job, I'm like doing way like eons better than I was, and I am happier. Like I am happy. I'm more fulfilled.
Yeah.
Like I'm able to do things.
Gives you more freedom.
Buy things. It does add so much to your life. And people who say they don't care about it, blah blah blah. Like there's very few people that I think really actually don't care about it, because everyone would love to have food, shelter.
Basic necessities, and be comfortable. Like, if I want to take a trip, I want to take a trip.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just be able to, just up and just dip out. Like that's lovely.
So, what would you say would be the biggest inspiration for you to start Financial Freedom Bootcamp?
So I created Financial Freedom Bootcamp maybe 4 years ago. And when I started to learn financial literacy through my personal experience, just a quick story is that, one of my cars were about to die, right? And I had to get a new car. So what happened is that I'm a type of person I always took the cash and I paid for the car, and that's what it was. It was flat out. I go get me a car, a little used car, pay the $8,000, I walk off with it. But I didn't realize that was doing absolutely nothing for my credit, right? So now when I go get this new car, I didn't have enough money. Right, saved up, and it was last year. I had rent, had all this other stuff going on, right? And that's just remember, I wasn't happy. That's not happy. You got rent, and you were caught between rent and a car, but the car is what takes you to go get the job, right? To go get the money. So now I didn't have enough money for that. Then my credit was not good. I didn't use it, but no credit just as bad as bad credit, right? You have no history. So now they, the guy told me what lender cars to get and all this other stuff. I had to use my wife as a co-signer on the car. Her credit was not as she had history, but she had some dings on it, right? So it's at least better than mine, but she had some right? Something there. So now once I start paying on that car, we got the car. All of a sudden, my credit score jumped up to like a high 700. Right? 6 months.
It's quick.
It's really 6 months.
Leaps.
Right? It leaped quick. So now I'm starting to get these credit things. Then I started to seek out mentorship because now I'm starting to follow financial literacy. I'm starting to follow the paper trail. Once I got a mentor, he taught me how credit actually works. It wasn't like my parents taught me. Go get a car, use it for not a car, but like use it for emergencies.
Get a credit card,
gas, pay it off. I realized that I could start a business. With a credit card. Now that business is making cash for me. I just got a business off of the bank's money, which is OPM, other people's money, right? So when the bank fractionalized your money, if you put $10,000 in the bank, use what's called fractionalized banking. They're going to take your $10,000 and div it into the stock market, into the credit field, into other things. That's why they will loan your money out at a 4.9% interest rate while yours is sitting at 0.2%, right? So it's not growing. So once I start to learn that, and then I created a business, the business started to make me money. Basically, the bank paid for my business, right? So that's what I taught one of my mentees is that, look, if I can tell you right now that you can go get $60,000 out of 3 different banks, you go apply for one bank, take the inquiry off. Apply for another bank, take the inquiry off. Apply for another bank, take the inquiry off, right? You just got $60K out of 3 different banks. You go get you a truck, put it on the road, let that truck start making you money. Now you got a trucking business and you got $60,000 truck that's making you $8,000 a month.
How do you take the inquiry off?
So the inquiries, right? When you do business inquiries on your business side, they're going to use your personal side as a personal guarantor, a PG. They want to know who's signing off for this money. Banks are in the business of mitigating risk, right? So when the money is on your personal side, on your business side, you got to inquire in your personal, right? But there's no money attached to it because the money's over here on your business side, right? So with this personal inquiry over here, and personal inquiries last for 2 years, right? And 6 inquiries in 6 months is an automatic denial. So what we do is that we go on a business, on the personal side, and it's a little finesse, but you got to basically go through a process of saying that you didn't apply for that card, right? And then the inquiry comes off in 20. I got a 24-hour method. You know what I mean? I get the inquiry took off in 24 hours. So that's what we do is that we go to there, get the inquiry took off. So when you go to the next bank, they don't even see that you just got money. They don't even see it. They don't see the inquiry, right? So now you just hit it. Right. So now I take the inquiry off. I go to another bank. I get $60K. I go get $30K or $20K, whatever you want to get. Right. And then I go back. I take it off another 24 hours. I go to the next bank that way. Or specifically, you need to know what banks are pulling from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
So you have to do a little research. So what are the most common misconceptions people have about credit repair and financial literacy?
That is a scam.
Well, I was going to say, we were talking just what you were talking about with all the, the taking the inquiry off and the steps you take going to different banks and stuff. I think a lot of people think that doing that is like shiesty or shady, but it's like what are these banks doing? Like,
what are the banks doing? You either for the bank or you for the people?
Money, like they're taking, they're like doing all.
They're doing the same thing.
Way worse,
but
way worse.
Charging more.
We are way more down bad than all these banks.
Than the banks are doing. So absolutely, they're predatory lending, and you worried about me trying to get your credit repaired right.
Exactly,
get your credit right. So I tell people about credit repair is a scam. I'm gonna ask you a question: how long have you been paying for car insurance, and when's the last time you got in an accident? And if you haven't gotten one, and then you getting one today, you still got to pay a deductible. But over the course of 5 years, you're gonna pay $10,000. See what I'm saying? So you still got to pay a deductible. Where's that $10,000 going? that you're paying every month. You ain't got an accident in 3 years.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Let's talk about the school system. School system be teaching you incorrect information for years.
Yeah.
But you're not calling that a scam. So when I tell people about scams, is that you still confused about money. That's what scam stands for. You still confused about money. You just confused on how it works.
Okay. I
Wow.
like that.
Still confused about
free
money.
game right there. Still confused about money.
Scam.
Confused about money.
That's
Scam.
wild.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
So that's
right
what I
there.
tell them, because they just gotta understand you've been being scammed a lot. When people try to fix your credit, they're not scamming you out of money. And there is some bad practices out there with anything. Vet your people out. But for the most part, credit repair is very a straightforward process.
I mean, you can jump I just like minor things that I do, because like with my bank with Advantage, like it shows me my credit bumps up and stuff. And it's like minor things that I don't even know will, give me 100 more points. Like it's fluctuating all the time. So I feel like if you have any, like even the littlest bit of knowledge about how to boost or, lower or whatever, then I feel like you could easily advise other people into doing that and then boost it just as easy. Like I have friends that have raised their credit exponentially, and like just like to green fucking is great, just absolutely just stellar. And it's like
There's definitely a lot of credit boosts. A lot of people don't know that you can
Mhm.
actually get your rent reported, and then actually can be reported to your credit. A lot of people are paying mortgages, and mortgages get reported. But you gotta think, when you are renting an apartment that's $2,500, that's way more than a mortgage, but that's not reportable.
I hate
You,
that.
you know how? Yeah, there's rent
Yeah.
reporters. There's rent reporters that you can actually get done. If you're with Navy Federal, you can actually get with something that's called a pledge loan as well. Navy Federal has something to where you can put $500 into, or maybe just say $2,000, $1,000 into your savings account. What you do is ask for a pledge loan. They're going to give you a loan off of your own money. You don't spend that money, right? You don't spend that money. You take that money once you get the loan, you pay $500 back. Pay $500 back. You just showed you just paid $1,000 loan off.
Very quickly,
and then it bumps up. But you just use your own money. It's just called a pledge loan. So on a credit report, you got to have a few different factors. You got to have the length of history that you have, right? You got to have no negative remarks. You got to have a mix of accounts. Mix of accounts is a loan, car loan, credit cards, that's revolving credit, right? Mortgage or something like that, right? You don't want to just have credit cards. So long as you can have that, no derogatory remarks and late fees and stuff like that. But as long as you got a mix of accounts, you can figure out how to get a mix of account. What if you got 2 credit cards right now, but you can't? Loans are hard. Loans are harder than credit. I'm gonna tell you that now. If you go get business stuff, loans are very hard, way harder than getting a line of credit, right? But if they are hard, if I can get you 2 credit cards right now, and then tell you put $1,000 inside your savings account, go make that loan against your own money, put it back. You just got 2 credit cards and a loan in your account, just like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That fast.
Yeah, and that would probably boost you quite a bit.
Yeah,
too,
it is about a good 60 points.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
money.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, this stuff is gonna be really, I think. Also, hopefully, people through this
I'm learning already.
interview come and reach out to you, or get a consultation or whatever. But I think, again, like we were just talking about before the interview, like money and business, all these things are so important to know. And the business is like the music business is like 90% business, 10% like music. So it's like I think a lot of people that watch our show are going to be really like, and like even just what we're just talking about right now is going to be probably monumental for some people. Just a little bit. Like even for me, I'm like,
yeah, it makes sense.
Right. Okay,
I didn't think of that before.
And be intentional about it. And I think people are scared. Like even me personally, like I think I just have a negative connotation with banks and loans. And I've had, my credit isn't great. And I've had people like screw me over with my like paying bills and stuff like that. And it's just like, so my credit isn't great. I have stuff in collections, and it's just like, I'm just very, like, I'm just like, once I get it all paid off or whatever, I'm just like, I don't want to touch it. But I'm like, I want to develop that. I want to learn the things, and I just have the literacy so I can, actively, continue my life comfortably.
So that's kind of what I was going to ask. How does Financial Freedom Bootcamp help you to go from repairing your credit to having sustainable wealth? Like
having sustainable wealth? Well, there's 2 things. Let me kind of go back to the music thing, right? What I teach with artists, right, is that recording labels are just going to be very big banks that's going to be very predatory on your ignorance to how money works.
Yeah, so it's like you get the money and you're like, well, now I'm going to go buy that chain, that expensive car.
We have more money. Yeah, more. And
with a very higher interest rate. Why not just go get a line of credit from the bank? That's a good bank. I'm not even going to say banks, credit unions. Go get a line of credit from the credit unions. Take that, use that as your marketing. You actually get points back on your marketing. People don't understand that. So if I get you the American American Express that actually get points back for running ads through Facebook. You are now running ads through Facebook, and you get money on the back end. So if you paid let's say $10,000 on marketing ads, and then your American Express gives you 4.9%, 3% back on your spending, you just made $2,000-$3,000 off of doing your ads. So now you got money on the back end, right? So now you got money on the back end, which you wouldn't be getting that from a record label. So now you can take that and go do your marketing, right? Now you can pay for studio time. As long as you're paying your bills off, now your credit is going up. You're getting, now if you got cash rewards, you're getting money on the back end. So I tell people, like, you want to go shopping and get the latest fashion, then make it work for you. Make it work for you. Like, go take that money. Now you got $2,000, because I get clothes because I know people like it. So when I shoot my marketing, I'm in some Prada or something like that, right? But that's not my everyday wear. I do that for marketing. Know how to use the clothes for a tool to bring viewers in to gain attention, because money follows attention. Remember that. Money follows attention. So if you can bring in some Prada, put some stuff on, then that's how
it's that funnel. You go from like people just seeing you and you're like, oh, what is this person doing? They look like, they got style. And then they start listening to the music, and then that's when the
that's
funnels
exactly
them
what
into
catches
making
them,
money.
right?
So
that, and then how to get sustainable wealth is that seek mentorship out. Like you want to tell you, like you say, I get scared of it. I was scared of credit as well. But when I got a mentor, I no longer had that scarcity mindset. I actually want debt. People don't understand that. I want debt.
That's
debt is going to make me money. You get a house, and this was a house that you own.
You're investing.
You still investment, but the house can now be rented, which is now a cash producing asset, but it's still debt. Right? So I make sure that all my debt try to bring me money back much as I possibly can. So to get sustainable wealth, I would say seek mentorship out, and then learn where to park your money. That's it. Learning where to park it is going to be very important. It's not parking it in liabilities. Try to park it in something that's going to be an asset, whether it's a long-term asset, the stock market, crypto, whatever you want to get into. Just make sure that whatever you are parking your money into is some way compounding interest.
What would you consider a liability, like something that you're investing in, something that would be like liability or risky? Is that kind of what you're getting at? Like something that would be risky?
I'm gonna give you a very quick liability that I know everybody have. A car. A car. Long as it costs gas, long as it take repairs, long as you got to pay for it, it's a liability. How you switch that around? Go take that car, get an LLC, put it in your business name. Now, when that car is driving around, you can at least write the gas. As long as you can write it off, you can write the gas off. Now it's actually making you money. Right? So that's the easiest way I say sustainable wealth is that find something that's going to be an asset that can actually appreciate and can bring you money in.
Well, like when you get like even just like I have so many friends who have gotten like musical equipment, and it's like sometimes sometimes it breaks or it deteriorates, but if they actually make they're recording or they're mixing people, or they start making money off of it, they make a business LLC and all that stuff, and then they actually start using it because you can get anything, we can get all this camera equipment and gear, and it's like it just have it sit or like just deteriorates and use it, but we're actually out trying to go get it.
Yeah. Banks are actually legally responsible to give you up to $50,000 in a loan and credit. So if you can do that, and then you wanted to create all of the stuff that you are creating with from recording equipment and everything else, do it as a LLC, get it a business, stop hustling backwards. We've been hustling backwards too much, too long. And then we realize why we don't get ahead or why you're in the same position for 10 years because you are hustling and using all your hustle money to still funnel back into the program when you can actually go get 20,000 from the bank, then make some money, pay it off, and now you're really not really losing. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather take the cameras that we recording with, go take that and buy that with credit, go get some cash back on my rewards, right? And then I pay my credit off. My credit went up, and I only own a $2,000. Think about this: if I was to give you $2,000 right now, right? And tell you that you only got to pay me $5 a month, not the full $2,000. What's gonna make sense for you to go pay $2,000 for this camera right now, or pay me $8 a month, $6 a month on a $2,000 loan,
and you're chilling,
and you're getting money cash back on just making that purchase, and I give you some money back.
I get, it's really starting to kind of, I'm getting it. I get what you guys. I see what you're talking about, because it's like, like if you like. I think about it all the time. I'm like, I have stuff I need to pay off. And I'm like, I got some big homies that got a lot of money. I'm like, maybe I'll just like like do like a payment plan with them, and then I just don't have to worry. And
Mhm.
you know, and obviously I'm not building credit, but if
Mhm.
I was, for instance, to go to a bank and get, you know, and start,
Yeah.
it's way more valuable to you know,
Mhm.
your, like, I don't know, I don't even know the term, like profile of
Yeah.
who you are financially, your credit, your history, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It's way
Well,
more beneficial.
everything gonna be credit.
Yeah.
You go get an
Yeah.
apartment, they're running your credit. You go get a
Mhm.
cell phone,
Yeah,
they're running your credit.
everything.
Go get your
Yeah.
car.
Everything.
I don't have to do credit repair because your credit's gonna be marketed to you without me. Go get a car, see what happens.
Yeah.
Go get an apartment, see if they run your credit. Go get a cell phone,
True.
see if they run your credit. So if you know
They
this,
will, yeah.
we have to start like my one of my mentors, Derek Grace, shout out to DG. He says you got to study the wolves. You got to study the wolves. This land is built off of capitalistic
Yeah.
ideology that's built off of guns and it's built off of treaties and trust. So what I do is I study them. I went and created a trust for my family. I created trust. Everything runs inside of the trust. The businesses is inside of the trust. And then we operate outside of the trust, right? So now that we have trustees, now it's like we become our own bank.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So if you know these things,
Oh,
then it's just time to start operating like that so you can get ahead. That's it.
You mentioned to me before about trade line businesses, and the benefits and the risks of those. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so yeah, so a trade line, if everybody's not aware of like what a trade line is, right?
Yeah.
Trade line was actually created for parents to actually put their children in position to be authorized users, basically, right?
Okay.
Authorized users on their account and authorized user on their account. And what a trade line basically is just a line of credit, just in a simple simplicity form of it, right?
Okay.
But they were actually created so that you can put your children on your account. That's why most children in different communities, they can get cars right out of high school because they have a good credit score. Our people don't really have a good credit score. So, you know, some of our parents honestly was putting stuff in their children's name. We gonna leave all that shit alone. We gotta get away from all that, right? But when you do that, you're actually, you know, making someone an authorized user. There's a way that you can do this. So I can make you an authorized user. Don't give you any money to my account, but you take advantage of my credit history, the score.
Oh.
So it looks like you got an 800 credit score to these lenders.
Interesting.
But I just don't give you access to my money.
Yeah.
So I got like 3 cars to where people actually pay me to be on my trade lines.
Oh, I
right.
see.
And now
see.
I give them access. So what typically they wouldn't have access to.
Yeah.
So now they can go get Airbnbs. They can go get cars.
Yeah.
I have people that's on my some people on my stuff. They done started cars on a Toro business. Somebody started an Airbnb, and normally they wouldn't be able to do this because they didn't have a good credit score.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give you. You know, you pay me $200 a month. You take advantage of this Capital One card. You look like you're on the account. You continue to pay, make the payments and stuff like that. Then you continue your business. You take yourself until you in position to where your credit is now good and you're actually operating for yourself. Then you don't need me anymore. So that's the benefits of the trade line. The bad side of it is that if you don't know what you're doing and I give you access to my money, you can mess my account up.
Right.
Yeah, so
there's like a trust thing too.
Like,
you got to be somebody you trust.
Like,
yes.
You write,
absolutely.
Like, write out. Yeah,
absolutely. There's even a tradeline.com to where you can actually go online. You can see like a stock market. There's changing every day. And you can bid and see these people are putting their credit cards online to jump on their trade lines. Some of them are 10 years. You want something that's going to be history. If you had a credit card like American Express is different, so they don't really do that like that with authorized users. But say for instance, you had a Capital One and that you found somebody that had that Capital One for 20 years, perfect payment history, credit score, everything on it, and then you jump on there. What would it be worth to you? You got to find a value in it. Are you doing something for business? And if you are, you can jump on their trade line and look like you got an 800 credit score.
Yeah. Okay.
They just don't give you access to their money. So that's the benefit.
That's I know things I just.
That's a way to jump
about,
your credit score.
Yeah, I never heard about that.
So you had a 700, you can jump a easy, cool, maybe 100 by just jumping on 2 people's trade lines.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you said you can go online to a website and
it's like tradeline.com. Yeah, and you can go in there. It looks like you can see them just moving.
Talked about school too. Like we learn all this improper information. We have to unlearn to really learn. Like almost everything I learned in elementary school, high school, I just was like, this is all garbage. This is all, and I had to build my, just literacy in general and like, just like my knowledge, my global knowledge, thinking about things from a global perspective, you know, and it's just like, that makes sense. You have to unlearn all these things. And then you have to change, you also have to change your attitude towards it. Because if you have this negative mindset where you're just like, you're like, I mean, even me, like I'm just like, like I'm scared of, I don't want to really, get into it. But like it's, like I could see how learning, like just with anything else, music, I've, doing music my whole life, learning and just being more confident, like immediately changed my entire attitude towards all these different things.
And there you go.
Business too.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Once you learn more in the music, how to edit, how to do things, you become more comfortable with the system.
Yeah, you're like,
right?
I got this.
And that's all business is systems. Once you figure out, you don't get rich, you don't get wealthy. And I mean by wealthy, I mean by mindset, right? Even with that, you got to have a wealthy mindset. You got to believe that you are a multimillionaire. You got to believe that you're wealthy in your mind before you actually touch it. If you touch it before you believe it, then you're going to abuse it. You're not gonna. You're going to get rid of it very fast. Like you said, we get the change. You should have been taught financial literacy first. If these young artists get into the music business, they're taught financial literacy first before you take somebody out the hood and give them $5 million who just had their finger on a trigger yesterday. What you think he gonna do? He's gonna go out and purchase the last thing he touched. He wasn't a book.
Yeah.
It wasn't a financial literacy book. It wasn't a course. So if you're giving these young people the ability to live the life that they want and not gave them the proper instruction on what to do with it, they're gonna go blow it. Honestly, like it all still look foolish to me. Like, people with 1,000 chains on like that used to look cool in the bling bling era because it was like flashy right then and there. But today is like, do you know the value of that chain that he got on is actually less than the solid Cuban necklace. That's solid gold neck because it's a commodity, right?
Sure.
That gold is a commodity. You understand that the solid bust down is actually worth more than going to put diamonds in it because you're losing the precious metal. Right. So we're not taught this. So we go get the most flashiest, shiniest thing because we think that's what's going to impress a bunch of people who don't even care.
That's my big point too. Is like at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't really care about like me, my family, my friends, people. Like, I care about those people seeing me as like a good, solid person, and I have had, times where I've had a lot of money and just absolutely blown it because I just thought I just cared so much more about how other people saw me. And I was like, I got my first car, like I'm paying my car off now and stuff. And like, I just don't have that same amount of money because I just so reckless, just immediately. I just never taught how to manage my money and I wanted to be flashy. And now I'm just like sitting here like, golly, bro. Like I could have, started, done all these things that you're talking about with that money. I had like I had like cash, a lot. And I could have just, actually invested in myself instead of investing in these other companies that aren't.
Listen, I don't care how you figure it. You are investing in the other companies.
I think that's happened to most people.
Everybody.
Yeah,
we all.
I mean, when I was in my early 20s too, when I just like got $100,000 back from selling a house, and then I spent some of it on like bills and student loans and everything, and traveled. Then the rest, I just kind of blew on traveling. It was fun. Great memories, but I wish I would have put, half of that down on a house at least or something.
Right.
Something. A car inside a business,
Yeah, we all have to learn.
We all did. And I'm only speaking from experience as well because I study and then I've been through personal experiences of losing money and losing a lot more. And the thing about business is that when you start to figure out where you are spending your money at, you can start to strategically figure out. It's going to sound crazy, but you can start to strategically figure out how to take other people's money. That's what business is. I don't care if you go to a gas station.
It sounds bad, but
it sounds bad. But at the end of the day, if you got a Chevron, a Texaco, and a Shell on 3 stations, you are figuring out which one you want to go to based upon their marketing, the sign, and at the prices that they are doing. So they're advertising to you, and they're setting up traps for you to take your money. I don't care if it's just gas. You're strategically figuring. They have strategically figured out. That's it. That's it. Gas company, the light company, everything.
Yep. Sure. And then brand loyalty too. People that are loyal to specific brands, and they think that these things aren't all being manufactured at the same level and the same factories overseas, and that it's all the same. It's all I mean, I don't know if this is actually true, but I heard a long time ago that like Volkswagen makes Lamborghinis, like it uses like the similar parts, like and a Jetta to make one of the nicest cars that ever is made, and it's just all like it's just like lipstick, it's all just flashy, and it's so funny because it's like these things just mean so little, like to you in the end. It's for everyone else to view, and it's not for you internally, and that's I'm just like trying to just unlearn that before anything else. It's just like
I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Y'all remember when Patti LaBelle had patty pies? Y'all remember that? She had little pies in Walmart.
Yeah,
y'all remember those?
I don't know.
She had like the little.
Is that before my
pumpkin
time?
pies or patty pies? No, it was like a few years ago.
Oh, a few years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, Google it. Patty pies, right? Who y'all think make Patti LaBelle's pies?
PepsiCo or something like that.
Yeah, probably like
Like Coke or
Nabisco. I don't know.
something?
Nabisco.
I think
Yeah,
Coke and
Nabisco probably,
Pepsi
yeah.
and Nabisco I think are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
You can Google it. Walmart
Mhm.
makes
Well,
Patti LaBelle pies.
yeah.
Patti LaBelle don't make Patti LaBelle pies.
No,
Yeah. Is
Yeah, I
is
would
that
guess.
drop shipping almost? Or is
Mm-mm.
that-
You can
no.
you could have went and got them from Walmart.
Okay.
You could have went and got them from Walmart. You know
go
what I
and
mean?
get them
They
from
were in
Walmart.
Walmart.
Put your
They were in
branding
Walmart.
on it.
Yeah, so that's that. See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now, if we know this about business, what makes you think that you have to have a personal product to sell for
Mhm.
people to buy it?
You don't. Yeah.
And you know how much Patti LaBelle, I think Walmart made. She made, if I'm not mistaken, she made like 80,000, and Walmart kept like 100,000, maybe somewhere like 60,000 or something like that, and they
Okay.
kept like 100,000.
Mhm.
So that shows you in business, like there's, like we said, percentages earlier, but also in business, like a lot of people would purchase these things because it's Patti LaBelle or Snoop Dogg got
Yeah,
some
their faces
cereal.
on it,
You
yeah.
don't know
Mr.
that,
Beast,
yeah, that
you
you're
know.
Mr. Beast, like, you know, he don't even make those products. They just paid him for his likeliness and
Yeah.
put it on there and stamped it. You like, oh, I gotta
Yeah,
go
like-
get the Patti LaBelle
Yeah.
pies. I gotta go get the Mr. Beast
A$AP
microphones.
Rocky, recently he made like a lip balm for men, and it's just like A$AP Rocky lip balm, and everyone's like, "Yo, this is hard." I'm
It's like
like,
Burt's
man.
Bees. It's Burt's
same
Bees
thing
with
as anything.
White
else.
labeled
Yeah.
it and got it offline and found a whole bunch of them, had a whole bunch and put his label on it and slapped it and then marketed it and branded it, and now everybody want to have
Easy
ASAP.
money.
Easy
Easy
money.
money.
That's like Shein and like Temu and all these other even on Amazon too. These folks are buying these products. They're buying these shirts. They're buying these pants. They're buying these shoes, and they're buying them in bulk, and then they're selling them as their own products and their own little companies or whatever. And then putting a stamp on it here, doing that, and they're just it's all already exist. Like they're not.
I have an
They've
e-com
gotten
store.
that,
I got drop shipping. I got an e-com store. That's one of my businesses. That's one of my newer
Genius.
businesses.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you don't have to touch the product. And I tell everybody, like, listen, get into a digital product.
Mhm.
That's a product that you can create one time that'll pay you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
One time.
What would be what digital, like what would a digital product be for you? Like an app, or are you
No, well, it could be an app, but
Could be
I
like
have
an ebook. Or,
an ebook,
Yeah.
an ebook,
Okay,
a course, like my
Speaking
Navy
of,
Federal
you have a
course.
book.
Yeah, I have
How many
books.
Yeah.
I have a few books. I have a few books. Yeah, we got books
let's
out,
see.
right?
We
But
get
most of these
zoom in.
books are actually into
Mhm.
ebook form as well.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
so that's a product that you can create one time that'll pay you for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
Navy Federal course started off, I think I made that like 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And that course is still making me money today because
Yeah.
it shows you how to get inside of Navy
Yeah.
Federal, how to
I kind of
Yeah.
want to do readings for ebooks and do what's it called? Audiobooks.
audio
Yeah.
book. There you go. Yeah.
Make money off that.
Yeah, that'll pay you for the rest of your life. That's something you don't have to recreate, right?
Mhm.
If I get a clothing
Just do
company,
it once.
I
Do it
don't make
once,
no
right?
more shirts. I
Yeah.
don't make no more money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But when you make the shirts, it costs production.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't cost me anything to
Mhm.
record something right now, upload it, turn around and package it and say, hey, I found a problem. You need to know how to get inside of Navy Federal. They heavy with the bag. What you mean they heavy with the bag? If I show you how to get inside of Navy Federal right now, and I guarantee you we look at your TransUnion, and if you had a certain mark, I can almost guarantee you $20,000.
Mhm.
And you'd be like, well, I don't think so. And I show you how to get in there.
Yeah, let me show
I'll show you what to do.
Watch.
I'll show you how to maneuver through Navy Federal, and then you come out and you get $25,000. What is $1,000 to you?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
guess what? I can as long as I keep doing that, I don't have to redo that video.
Sure.
That data is there. That
Yeah.
message and
then
that
people
teaching
be
is
buying
there.
it for like 10 years.
Yep. And that's a digital product that
But of course, 10 years from now, money isn't going to look the same.
It ain't
So
gonna
you're
look the
not.
same.
So like,
Yeah.
if you sell a book, it's like it'll be pennies. And speaking
Right.
of that, like, how does your business financial freedom boot camp keep up with like the changes and
Yeah,
like the different
global,
financial
yeah.
issues? And everything?
that only affect people that believe in it. I don't believe in it.
Mhm.
If I don't have a scarcity mindset, I
Don't
have
get
an
it.
abundant mindset. So if I
Yeah.
don't believe the economy is going to affect me, then I don't see it. That means
Mhm.
it's not in front of me. Is I don't have to deal with it because as it start to shift, I shift.
Sure.
Right. So if it went from
Pivoting.
everything was pivoting,
was
you
a
gotta
big
know.
word,
There you
like
go. That's it right
2021.
there. You gotta know when to pivot
Mhm.
in your business.
Mhm.
So when you diversify your portfolio
Mhm.
in such a way, if like having to think about it like this, having 3 bodegas, right? You can have bodegas in New York, and if you have one and have a bad month, the whole business have a bad month.
Yeah.
But if I have 3 and 2 is doing good and that one is now doing bad, the 2 made up for that one.
Yo, that's interesting you say that because
So-
I work at Oregon Country Fair and Pickathon. I do pizza and stuff. And my homie that was like managing the whole operation, he was like, "Pizza is money." And it's like there's this guy I forgot in Portland.
Pizza is
Maybe I
money.
shouldn't.
Pizza is money. I like that.
Say this, But there's this guy in Portland, I forgot his name, but he has a bunch of different businesses, and he has like these nice high-end restaurants, and he has a pizza shop. The pizza shop bankrolls all the other businesses. And that's just,
It's cheap and everybody loves
it's
the
cheap.
pizza.
It's the margins on pizza is like, $10 to like, you can sell a slice for, anywhere from $3 to $5, and it costs like 50 cents with all the ingredients.
Yeah, they're like the sauce, the cheese, the toppings, and the dough.
Yeah. And
how
you assemble
much?
it, you pay for the assembly of it and the cooking of it. You're not paying for the ingredient, you're paying for the assembly, and people will pay like $3, $5, even $8 depending on where it's
bust
at,
it down in slices. Now you selling it.
Now you're giving me ideas. Now I want to start a pizza shop.
I thought about it. Like I've genuinely thought about it.
On the scene pizza.
Making pizza. It's something I'm really good at. I enjoy doing it. Like I know how to do it. I know like it's fun and it makes bread. Like if you have a successful pizza shop, no pun intended, makes bread, but makes dough.
Makes dough. Now it makes sense. I never thought about it, but if you think about a pizza that could have been, let's just say $20 each pizza, and they got 5 pizzas in front of you, but you bust those down into sections and sell them at $5 a piece.
Yeah, and that's what we did. That's what we did at like.
We gotta stop thinking, start thinking more like. See what I mean? You start thinking like business instead of a consumer.
I don't even like pizza that much, honestly, but
right? But now you're like on the
making me
opposite
money.
end of it, like a consumer would go see that pizza and be like, $5. Oh, that's too much.
Yeah.
A business mind gonna go see 5, 20, 30, 40, 50, 5, 10, 50, 20, 20. I might need to start a pizza shop.
No, that's exactly what I thought.
That's where my brain goes. Honestly, like, I think, I haven't known you for very long, but I think that, you're getting our minds going, and we're like, hey, what else can we do? So I feel like you're a great mentor, and your program is probably pretty successful. Do you have any success stories specifically
with the mentees? Yeah, I definitely got a few success stories. Some of my mentees now, they're inside of the Digital Wealth Academy.
Okay.
And that academy is based on like learning the digital space, right? So now they're making faceless YouTubes. So faceless YouTubes is something that you can make that does not require you being in front of the camera. So if you ever think about watching something on YouTube and it was somebody narrating like gang files or a murder or something that. These are people that's hiring somebody on Fiverr to speak. They narrate it. They find the video clips. They write a script. They narrate it and they just put it on YouTube, and it's not faceless, and people are making millions of dollars off of this.
Yeah. Wow. No, I've thought about doing that, but
I've watched these videos and I'm like, what's the whole? Because these
they get
videos
paid.
have millions and millions of views, and there's so much.
So are you talking about like there's a video already, and then somebody just says like has a script?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I go find Steph Curry right now and what Steph Curry spends his money on, there's going to be a video. You find that video. Rip that video off of YouTube, right? And then you go to Fiverr, get somebody to get a different script, write a script out, find somebody to do a narrator. They redo that whole video. They put it on YouTube. Somebody who searches what Steph Curry spends his money on is going to see that video. And YouTube is going to, after so many views, YouTube is going to pay you $5 to $8 per view. There's some views out there right now with 16 million views.
You could also get like Chat GPT to make a script. You can automate this.
When you get, if you ain't got,
it's already my plan.
Chat.
I recently quit one of my jobs so I can focus more on that kind of stuff.
There you go. Yeah. So in the Digital Wealth Academy, they're learning the faces YouTube. They're doing it. Well, if TikTok gonna be gone, but that's a whole different thing. But they have the TikTok and stuff like that. So they're learning everything inside of digital space. Because inside of my Digital Wealth Academy, I give you over 80 digital products. I'll show you exactly how to use them, how to monetize them, and then we start to strategically put your videos out for the world. And it's something that's very easy to do. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like if you got a certain systems like CapCut and Canva and stuff like that, you can create something very quickly and then put it out there. And so other things people watching, they don't know you're paying somebody. If you ain't figured out how to make money online, which the digital and social media is free commercial space, free commercial space. How much is an ad on the radio? How much is an ad on the billboard? Which music artists had to really do that back in the day. Now you got Facebook, TikTok, and everything else. Everything on there should be, for me now today, it should be pushing towards business and pushing towards how can I generate interest? As long as I generate interest, I generate attention. As long as I generate attention, I find a problem, I solve it, and then I make money. That's my funnel.
Well, you said I forgot what you said earlier, but about attention and like it brings
money follows attention.
Money follows attention. Yeah.
Negative or good, it follows it.
I've seen that. I've seen that even just in my own career, like working at a music venue or it's like the bread comes when you get people's attention. The accolades, success comes when you just even if you said it's negative, even if it's negative, you could draw a lot of attention, you draw a lot of money. Like there's people on YouTube who are doing this controversial things that's negative stuff, and they're generating all this wealth. And that's why they do it.
6ix9ine is the perfect example of that. Like that dude trolled everybody, and he made his whole living basically off of being into negative energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he got money. If you think about when what's the guy Travis Scott, when he had that incident with the people, Astroworld, that was still negative attention. It wasn't nothing that he caused, but he was the highest looked up person at that time.
Right. And then people are listening to his music, like
and they ain't stopped.
So you're like, are there gonna be any clues in his music of what happened or whatever?
You see, now I want to listen for what happened. What are you gonna talk about? Usher's greatest album was like negative. It was talking about him stepping out on Chili. Confessions was the biggest selling thing, but people wanted that was your life. He was like, that wasn't even really. We associated his real life with that, but it wasn't. Jermaine Dupri would tell you like, I was actually for me and Janet. It wasn't his life. Confession wasn't his life. Let It Burn. That wasn't really Usher's thing he was going through. Now he was dealing with some stuff.
We're still talking about music, learning things because I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that wasn't his life. That was actually Jermaine Dupri's stuff.
Okay.
Wow. Interesting.
But the money followed the attention. That album was like one of the best albums.
Yeah. I got that. I got the album in 4th grade or something. I think 3rd or 4th grade. I was like, this is it. I was like, this is fire.
Listen, y'all go back and listen to that. I don't know you supposed to be giving. You gotta pay him for this little plug, but y'all go and listen to that album. The album was fire.
Absolutely, absolutely. You youngins over there, you
you youngins.
So we didn't talk very much about your books. Well, first of all, how many businesses do you have? Because you have your books, you have like e-learning.
I have.
You have the boot camp.
More than 80.
I know somebody with 80 businesses.
You have the digital products, So
businesses. 5. So I have a security business, which is we do security work. Me and my brother Melvin. Shout out to P. We do security work. We just did security for Queen Latifah a few months ago. We just did security for Common. We do no. He had a gala. He was at a gala at the Sylvania. Yeah, a gala was going on. So we did security there. We do private security. We do event security and stuff like that as well. I have a firearm, tactical safety and training because I believe whatever you build, you got to be able to protect.
Yeah, absolutely.
The financial literacy business, the econ business, the books, and and my name. You LLC your name. As you don't do last thing, LLC your name. You can LLC your name. Your LLC.
I've been thinking about it.
LLC your name. If you don't do anything else, like some people, like they get into mental paralysis because they think they gotta finish everything. It gotta be perfect. My motto when I teach my students is start now and worry about the rest later, because you're still gonna have problems.
Yeah,
you're still gonna have problems. So if you get started with your LLC right now and just LLC your name, that's perfect. Because you know what, your EIN has 9 digits. Yeah. How many digits do your social security number have? 9 digits. 9. Okay. How many digits do your passport have? 9 digits. So when you start to realize that these numbers are very much similar, so instead of taking to a car, what I do, instead of going to a car and giving them my social security number, I give them my name with my business EIN. So now Jeelani, the business, owns this car instead of Jeelani Sharif with this social security number owning this car, attaching it to my social. So that's another thing that see that other mindset. That's a lot of enough other things that I teach. So I even LLC my name. Yeah. So 6.
What are the benefits of doing that as opposed to having it be in your name, being attached to your business? What's the difference? I don't
want nothing in my name. Your name should be golden. You know what I mean? You don't want anything in your name.
I don't want to keep my name separate from, or like personal business.
Personal business, because anything they attach to it, they want to sue you. They want to come after you for money or anything like that. That's going to affect your personal, which is now going to stop you from getting houses and loans and everything else. I can put something in the business name, let the business deplete and like not be there, right? And then I can go restart another business.
Word, but if your name is tarnished, then
you can't duplicate another social security number. Yeah. I can go take my name and go duplicate myself 16 times with different. Nobody. It's like a day. You got like one day, 24 hours. You can start a brand new business. So I can start Jeelani Sharif, new EIN, Jeelani Sharif with something else, new EIN. I can go duplicate myself 16 times if I wanted to, and out of those 16 businesses, I can go get money for all of them.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you a long time to save up $60,000. But if I show you how to get, like I said, 30 out of that each bank or 20 out of 3 different banks.
Multiple banks,
multiple banks in one day. And them take the inquiries off of your personal side. Now you got $60,000. Go get you a truck, start you a trucking company, put your truck on the road and make you $5,000 to $8,000 a week. You pay back that loan. That loan is paid off, and you just got a business off the bank. How long is it going to take you to save up working at a pizza place? $60,000. You still got bills. So now you're trapped. That's why I tell people you got to get out of that trap. There's nothing wrong with working. Just don't let it stop there. Your job is your first business partner. Just don't let it stop there. You know, have an exit strategy.
That was a question I even was thinking about before I got here. Is like, what do you usually say to people who are stuck in the monotonous, not making enough to really invest, necessarily not making enough, they're not saving money, and they're just in this weird kind of spot? Because that's kind of where I am too. Is like I can save better than I ever have before, but it's not a lot, and it's like I feel like I'm just kind of like stagnant, you know, like just like what would you what would you advise? Like
start getting loans.
First step? Start. Would you say get loans first, like to expand? I don't know.
Nope. You know what? The first thing you do, proximity is power. You need to be around the right people. Once you're around the right people, you will start to absorb the right and correct information.
That mindset. Yeah.
That's a mindset, right? So now I tell you, I would audit my circle daily. I would start to strategically put myself around people who's talking about real estate, credit, things like this. That way, that conversation now becomes your norm. Now you are now starting to retrain your mindset, and then you're around people. I don't care what anybody say. If you around 40 bums, you're going to be the 41st bum. I promise you, right? You don't want to do nothing in your life or anything. But if you're around 40 millionaires, I can guarantee you're going to be the 41st millionaire.
When you start thinking, like start
pick up.
Family, friends, and people I've met in the last couple of years that have had very successful businesses. And before that, I wasn't really thinking that it was possible because these people are just like me. They're my homies. They're good people. They're really solid. And it's like, they're no different than me. I just gotta, there's these steps I gotta take, and you're so right. Like when you're surrounded by all these, like, people with scarcity mindset, people who don't want to go out and get it, you're gonna also be complacent in that. And I'm so scared of being around that. I'm just
I audit my circle daily. Like I don't deal with people that's not talking about positive energy or personal development, or are we talking about business? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Poor people talk about people and things. Middle class people talk about events, and people that's wealthy talk about assets and opportunities. What opportunities can we present from this conversation? And if it's not nothing that's forward progress, then it's distracting me, and you're giving me another place to be distracted at, which is now stopping me from my goal. And I don't let anybody stop me from my goal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Start hanging out at the yacht club.
Crabs in a bucket.
There you go.
Is that kind of how you started with like your financial literacy? Like you just started putting yourself around? You started hearing people talk, or you met someone maybe, and you're like, hey, can we like link up or talk over coffee and stuff? Like
my first introduction, man, was actually finding mentors online, man. I ran into the guy named Derek Grace. If you haven't know who he is, put him up on the board, look him up. Light skin dude, tattoos.
The grill, is he local?
No, he in Florida.
He's in Florida. Okay.
Yeah. So I got into him, and then he started teaching me. He started teaching me about financial literacy, how it works and stuff like that. 35 years old and to have multiple millions. And he actually has a book that was called 11 million in the pandemic. So if he made 11 million in the pandemic, that should show you like the pandemic only affected people who let it affect them.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So when I learned that and I read his book and stuff, then I started to train my mind. I started to search for other people that had information. That's why I said proximity is power. You are one piece of information away from your next big break, or one piece of information from a next million or your first million, right? You're one funnel away from your next million. If you know what a funnel is, you gotta look at funnels. But if you are one bit of information, and when you get inside the rooms, the people who have information, they are the keys to unlock that next piece of information that you need to get in business. So I just started getting key, which means I start being in different rooms, right? So I'm a type of person, like I don't have no time to like make relationships. I buy them. Like, you gotta buy I buy relationships. I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. Like if this person has a podcast, or like say for instance, what is Gillian Wallow's thing, whatever their stuff is, right? You want to get a podcast like Shade Room. At one point it was $100 to get on Shade Room. Another point it was like $500 to get on Shade Room. That became day zero. Then it was $1,000. Once people start paying that, they start realizing like now it's $10,000 to get an ad on top.
Yep.
you know, shit
People
like
the
that.
value, they build the
Still, they
value.
build a value. So I start putting myself inside of the rooms that created value for me, and then it added value, and then I started to be able to add value to people, and then they pay me for it.
It really is like so. And again, bringing it back to music, it's so like so much about who you know and being around the right people. Like I always tell people, you know, and they're like, "How'd you get to your position? How are you booking? How are you working in the studio? How do you know the people you know?" And I was like, I was kind. I always treat people with as much kindness as I possibly can muster at that moment. And I just never, you know, I'm just like I'm trying to be around these people. I bring these people in my life. I feel like I bring that energy. Like I ask for that energy from the world, and I feel like I don't know how I got here, but it's like I really just think like having these people around is just the ultimate. Like that's the only way you're gonna make it happen. Like these people that are sitting in their basements just making music and just loading on the internet and not going out and talking to people, they're not gonna make it because they're not talking to these people. You're not getting into the rooms. Like I always talk about getting in the rooms.
Getting in the rooms.
Yeah,
getting in the right room will change your life forever.
Absolutely,
it'll change your life forever. I think one of my conferences was like $10,000 just to go.
Wow.
Right. One of some of them,
but you're investing.
You're investing. It's investment.
Exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, you know exactly. Yeah, you know, and that's when you end up calling the team. Like, you know, well, it costs this much money to get here and get this. Once you get the information, like success loves speed. So, how fast can I learn this information? How fast can we apply it? Once you apply it, then you should start seeing your money change.
Push and Pete, applying pressure.
Applying pressure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Success. Wait, can you say that again? Success.
Success loves speed.
Success loves speed.
Success loves speed.
All these mottos, and it's just like,
yeah, I got bars too.
Yeah, I know. For real.
You know, financial literacy is it's like the music industry, man. It's very much very side by side. You know what I mean? And once you learn what financial literacy is, and again, businesses is just systems and processes. Once you learn that, that can apply to just everyday life, like language. You know, yeah, just
being
language.
Intentional and taking the right steps. To
Absolutely,
get there.
And that's how music should be as well. You should be very intentional with the music and very intentional with what you're putting out. And then once you turn it into a business, like take it for real, and then start seeking out mentorship that can show you what to do with that money to make sure that you maximize your success rate when you're doing the business side of, you know, performances. I don't care. Like I said, it sounds bad, but if I have a show and I'm inviting you to a show, I gotta convince 80% of business is psychology. I gotta convince you why my show is gonna be worth you coming to coming.
No,
and I'm going to expect you to pay a little bit of money at the door and at the bar and at the concession
something
stand.
That Portland should learn, because like a lot of people really expect to get in for free, or they don't want to pay more than $5.
Like, what did you do for me?
Yeah,
like, like bro, I had to pull teeth to get you to show up, and you want to get in for free?
We're getting free and don't have the nerve to even share it.
Yeah. Oh,
and a share is free.
Yeah.
So you know we got the
I had a house show here for my birthday.
Yes.
And had some pretty good, you know, really good Portland artists here, and people were complaining about having, because some of the people just like saw the flyer and they were just like random people who showed up,
like house party,
and they're like, "Oh, that was weird that you have to pay to get in." And I was like, "It's my party, and I paid the artist, and I paid for the alcohol, and it's in our house."
The lights closed, like I said, electricity is free. Show me. If your electricity is free, I would gladly go to your house and do it.
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in there.
And then teach me how you got it for free.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Also, it's like, what would you like? I always ask these people, especially with like, you know, booking shows and stuff. I'm like, would you do the same for me? Absolutely. Like, would you spend all this time, all this money, and you know, resources into an event or, you know, a space, and then would you expect someone to just like just lollygag? Yeah, just you know, you can. I put all this time into this. You can just come in.
You come in for free. You special.
Well, I think a big part of it is that people. This has happened to me where people are like, "Oh, you're charging for interviews." I'm like, "Yeah, I could interview literally anybody." But you know, and there's some that that we do for the community, but like. People are like, "Oh, like, aren't you here for the community? Like, aren't you here for the music community?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I do it." But at the same time, like,
you gotta pull up, you gotta set up.
Exactly. And it's like editing and everything like that.
It costs time, and time is money. And I appreciate you valuing your time. You know what I mean? I'll give you another jewel, right? If they don't pay, they won't pay attention. If there's no transaction, it won't be no transformation.
Sure.
So anything that we are doing is still a transactional thing. And you should be proud to pay to be on somebody's platform, because you're using and leveraging OPA, their other people's audience.
Yeah.
So if I know I'm going to leverage your audience and I'm going to give you this information, like I know about my intellectual property, right? But I'm not going to overstep with the business so you can monetize this. And I just use the clips that I have just to promote it. You see what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
got to know when it's a reciprocal thing,
Mhm.
and it's still business. It's still business. You can just because some people ask me
It's
too on
like
my
you still care about the
podcast.
community.
Oh, I forgot I got a
but-
podcast too.
You have a podcast
Yeah, I
too.
forgot I got a
You
podcast.
forgot
too.
What's
about
that
it.
called?
I forgot.
What's the podcast
That
called?
podcast is called No Retreat, No Surrender.
No,
Okay.
No Retreat, No Surrender. I just be on there talking shit. That's all.
Word. I
Yeah,
love
you know,
that.
I-
So it's
you
not
know.
about finances.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean, it's finances in there, but it's really
It's kinda
like
a
I
little
try to
everything.
give motivation and like if it's something that is like male versus female or just perspectives.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna give my perspective and talk shit. And it's like a no retreat, no surrender. Like what you gonna get is
Yeah,
what
you're
you're
gonna.
get.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
You know
So
you're signing up for when you listen to that
yeah.
podcast.
But I asked people me too to be on my show, and then I hit them like, well, this is what it's gonna cost.
Mm.
And it was like, well, me and my brother want to get some stuff out. Me and my sister,
Well, then go
okay, well then
do
that's
that.
going
Go do it.
create it yourself
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
If it's that easy,
I think
everybody
people
do
don't
it.
realize like how much the editing and everything and like just
Mhm.
setting up
Yeah.
really
Also,
is.
it's like
They just see it.
Mhm.
I love paying people, and like I said earlier, like we at the studio, we just contracts out the gate. Like we're just
Mhm.
immediately because it's like you gotta like you show initiative. I feel like you show a lot about your character when you're like, let's get all the business, like let's do it all
Mhm.
above board. Let's get it out of the way. I respect you. I want to make sure that all of us are taken care of, and I think that's beautiful. I love to pay people for their art. I love to pay
Mhm.
people. I love to be able to give. And then, like I feel
Yeah.
like I'm
I
respected.
contributed. It was a respectful thing. It's a mutual thing. And like
Yes,
if
mutual
everything
exchange,
ever come down to it,
Mhm.
it shouldn't be a question about me charging you for
Yeah,
something because I don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. It shouldn't be any question. It should be all above board. Just like we
Mhm.
get that out of the way, and then we can have fun.
We have
Then
fun.
We can start making beats and doing this and cooking
Yeah.
and da da da.
Yeah,
And then
that-
just
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Do you have any other maybe last advice for artists specifically and using their like finances, like building their finances and their platform and going into it and not for them to not go in debt when they're starting their career?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
My word to up and coming artists and just anybody right now is just like, again, get started now and worry about the rest later. Like don't get caught up inside of mental paralysis to where you're thinking too much of it and you don't end up getting anything done. Right. And then once you do that, the best advice I can give you will seek mentorship. It can be me, it can be somebody else. If you want to reach out to me, I'm all the way open for it. Just know that, I want you to be able to invest into yourself and I want you to take it serious. And again, when you do that, it's going to cost some money.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that is going to get you the information that you need. Right. Because again, you said my success story, if somebody got $25,000 out the gate when it started the Airbnb and started that, now moving to child care. Now you got child care, you doing the foster care and stuff like that. Right. So now they got multiple businesses off of that one play.
Wow.
What is that going to be worth to you? You know what I'm saying?
You gotta step out the porch to do that.
Yeah,
you gotta get out
got some of the porch.
Mhm.
Yeah, invest that little bit. That might be $5,000. Now you're making $40,000 a month. What was that $5,000 investment?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What was that?
So I think that's great advice to just go for it, and then there'll be mistakes made along the way, and you're learning.
Mhm.
But also, when you have a mentor, it's not like you're just like throwing your money in all these different directions. You at least
Yes.
have some direction.
Some
where
direction,
to-
Yeah, it's a difference between coaches and mentors. Coaches is going to be there to pull things out of you that you didn't know was there, like a football player. Like you a dog, put that dog in you, right? And bringing it out of you. But a mentor is there going to show you all of the things that he or she did wrong, so that you don't make those mistakes,
Exactly.
and you can fast track your way to success.
And that's such a useful tool too. Like you should, if you want to, be financially literate or, whatever, in music, you want to be successful, you should be willing to pay for that. It's like, wait, I'm not going to have all these same pitfalls that these other people had, which are inevitably going to happen.
Mhm.
So it's like, if you can just avoid that with some money, with a little investment, like what you're already going to invest anyway, like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, but a lot of people just don't get that.
Yeah, that's the saying. Instead of asking me how much it costs, ask yourself how much it's going to cost you if you don't get the information.
Exactly. Yeah.
How much it costs, bro? How much it going to cost? Well, listen, man, how much it going to cost you if you take this route and you don't have mentorship and you go down this road, start applying for credit, you don't know what to do with it, or you not doing it, how much is going to cost you? I guarantee you, recording artists is going to cost you a lot more money trying to figure it out on your own than it's going to cost you to get with a mentor and then they show you where. I went left, bro. It didn't work out. Go right.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. That's money right there.
That's golden right there. That's right there. Yeah. So I got the books out. You can find the books on Amazon.
So there's that.
Yes. Yeah. So this is a 30-day, create 30 pieces of content in 30 minutes, 30 pieces of content in 30 minutes. So I teach people how to take their content again and turn it into cash, how to take this content and generate revenue from it, how to get the biggest return on your investment, your ROI. So, you know, how to, with viral times is in here. I think it got 30 different hooks. If you guys don't know what a hook is, that would be me starting a video like, hey, like a, I'm gonna tell you something that Dennis don't want you to know. Immediately I got your attention. Like, what the hell, Dennis don't want me to know. You know what I mean? And then I go into a spiel and I already got you. So that's
Okay.
30 different hooks. You want to know how to gain attention in like the first 30 seconds and then be able to keep it after that.
Bounce
Right. So that's 30 pieces of content. This Money Smart book right here is the financial literacy book, which has over 101 essential skills in financial literacy into success. It shows you how to turn your family into business, because I believe that family equal business. A lot of times we don't operate that way. If you think about it, America is a corporation and it is a business, and you cannot be a president unless you have a family, which is called the first family, because the first family are, if you're able to run a family, you're able to run a business. You're able to run a business, you're able to run a country. That is a business. That makes sense?
Systems that
Right?
you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're just saying it's all
Systems.
just the same. You learn the systems, you learn the languages. I talk about language because like once you like kind of learn the basis, the foundation, you can kind of work your way around it, and then you just keep learning more, and then it becomes, you know, second nature. You're fluent, you know. It's like you're financially fluent, you're musically fluent, and it's just you know, it just takes time and investment.
Yeah, that's it. Time and investment, you know. And then the thinking of a man, the thinking of a God. This is the brand new book right here, and this is for like guys, the unspoken truth, sex, money, and murder. It's not necessarily what you think, like sex, money, and murder, like the gang and stuff like that. But when you think of men, you think about hypersexuality. You think about the even the music today, how hypersexual it is. You think about our music today. It's a lot of murdered in there. That either the people are doing it or are not doing it. Some of them very low vibrational. You know, and then you think about the money component of the stuff as well. So sex, money, and murder for me is like a acronym for like, you know, just life as a black male. We were surrounded around sex, money, and murder. That is when we growing up as a teenager. That's all the music that I heard. 2 Live Crew, Snoop, all that stuff was either degrading women and stuff like that. How to get money, not what to do with it. But this shows you the Bible of what to do with it. What I wish I would have had as a young man growing up, with how to deal with women, what women to deal with, what women to not deal with, what ways to think as a young man, what ways to not think as a young man, and just have this good old guy Bible.
How to be out there on those streets.
Gotta be out there on the streets. And you can find it all at Amazon. Just look my name up.
All right.
Absolutely.
Great.
Beautiful.
And then how can we find you on social media?
Instagram, social media,
Facebook.
Oh, okay. All the social. Well, yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Mr3thehardway. That's MR3, the hard way. Find me on Facebook, Jeelani Sharif, and Mr3 everything, all the rest of the platforms and stuff like that. And yeah, you find me at the website is the crazypanda.net. You go to crazypanda.net, you can find all the courses, all the mentorship programs and stuff like that, you know, and I don't beat people up outside the head. You get like, some of them got like 14 days free. Like, try it out. See if it even works for you. I'm not in it just to take your money. I want you to get your results, because your results is still part of my success. Yeah. So I want to be result.
When they talk about it, they talk about their success stories rather than like, I didn't get anything out of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
buzz, you know, just buzz. Even if they do the trial and they mention it, oh, I did this trial. That's somebody else has got eyes or, you know, ears on.
Sometimes I did a lot of trials and got out of them. My trials, I try to make sure that my trials is making money by the time I'm done with it. But, you know, sometimes I got in a couple trials and it just didn't do it. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I said, I just get started and worry about the rest later. If it don't work, it don't work. You know?
Sure. Yep. Trial and error.
Trial and error.
Right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Is there anything else that you want to tell your fans or future fans?
New fans, y'all make sure y'all stay watching the platform. They got a very good platform. They putting out very good information. I've seen the artists and everybody that was on here. It's a lot of great information they're putting out. They're doing great work. And the only way they can continue to work is if you guys subscribe, you guys like, you guys share, you put out and you share the information. The share is free. So if you want to be reciprocal into life and into things, you got to be able to put in much as you are asking to receive out.
It's free to subscribe too. For now. No. Right. Well, this has been On the Scene with Carissa Des.
I'm Pretty Leon.
And Mr3 the Hard Way.
Threes.
Jeelani. Well, what's the 3 stand for? The sex, money, murder?
So the 3, the 3 actually, my favorite movie was Bernie Mac's, now I can't even think about it. Oh, Mr3,000. Mr3,000. Yeah, Mr3,000. The whole premise of that man, he was playing a baseball game, and then he had that one last home run. He made like so many home runs, and then it realized they missed one one last home run. And then when he went back, he had to go back with a younger team. He was a very old guy. They making fun of him and everything.
Yeah.
So at the end of the movie, he either can make this home run and be selfish and get what he needed, or the team was going to lose if they didn't get the base or something like that.
I see.
So he decided to sacrifice his selfishness so that the younger team can actually, in his record, so that the team can get ahead.
Yeah.
Because I believe that you're never self-made, you're team-made.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I don't care where I'm self-made. No, it took people to support you. It took people to market you. It took people to see something in you.
Any fans?
You don't even have any fans.
Kill you. I don't know. Like people just not even just whooping your ass or something. Like people just being like, I'll be in your space, I guess. Like, it's not, nobody's self-made.
Yeah, nobody's self-made. So I believe it took a team. Your mom even made it. It took two people to even make you. Like that whole notion is just beyond crazy to me.
Yeah.
So that's where the 3 came from, was actually Mr. 3000 and stuff. And the 3 is the completion of life. So to give you a quick story before we get out of here, just kind of get a little bit deeper. I'll give y'all a little bit of something, right? You got a circle, right? That's the circle of life. You got 120, 120, and 120, right? 120, 120, 120, that equals 360. So 360 degrees of information should be where you are striving to get to, right? Then you got the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. You got Aset, Asar, and Horus in the Egypt, right? So the 3s is the Trinity. So if you start to understand numerology, which my wife have a book called Manifestation with Numbers. Did I say that right? Manifest with Numbers, which breaks down a lot of numerology. And like you see the 555 on my neck, right? I got 555 tatted on me. So these are angel numbers. So when you start to pay
1111.
111. See, there you go. You in tune. You gotta get the book. Gotta get the book. Yeah, see. So now she has a book that deals with manifestation and understanding your angel numbers and following your numbers. So once I start following numbers, it gave me a clear sign of where to go with my life and stuff. So 3 was just very synonymous with Trinity and completion. And I want to have 360 degrees of information and knowledge so I can be complete in life.
Okay.
Self-actualization kind of vibe. Yeah. Okay.
I get deep too, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, we like to scratch the surface and go a little bit deeper.
There you go. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you guys for having me.
I learned a lot. Now I have to process it.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's gonna be a lot to download.
Watching the video,
Rewatch the video and
I'm taking
download.
notes. Should have been taking notes the whole time.
No takers is money makers. There go another bar.
Yep.
No takers is money
No
makers.
takers is money makers.
I used to rap in my former life. Got a couple bars.
Past life.
My past life. Absolutely.
Love
So
that.
I got bars all day.
That makes sense. Yeah, the word
play. See that? You got a couple there?
Yep.
Got you.
Yep, it's coming through.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.
All right.